Welcome to the Make Life Your Bitch podcast. I'm your host, Brittany Alicia. Greatness is a decision and your birthright. You deserve to love the woman looking back at you in the mirror. This show is for the purpose-driven female entrepreneur who is committed to only counting the time she gets back up. The woman who is ready to ignite the flame within, find her voice, and use the power of her story to transform the lives of those around her. This is your weekly fuel to inspire you to action, where I'll be sharing inspirational stories, real talks with thought leaders and successful entrepreneurs from around the world, and provide you with actionable success strategies for creating a business you love. I'm a content marketing coach, and I'm committed to helping you as an online creator and entrepreneur wherever you are to turn your dreams into a reality, to help you transform your messaging so you can create a genuine connection with your audience and grow your income online. You are far more powerful and stronger than you will ever imagine. We are the warriors. You were born for this. Let's make life your bitch. Hello and welcome back to the Make Life Your Bitch podcast. I am your host, Brittany Alicia. And as always, I'm super excited about this episode, just as I am with all of them. But I'm extra excited about this one today because it is so new and fresh and liberating for me to share the topic today with you, because when I had this breakthrough for myself, and it was only in the last month or two, it has changed everything in my business, in my life, the way I show up. There's just such a deeper meaning. So today we are talking about abundance and manifestation. And I almost want to say explained for dummies, but the reason I'm talking about this, and I shared this on the Redefining Influencer episode, and I said it's one of those things where sometimes we listen, but we don't really listen to understand and to go deep. And sometimes we need to learn lessons over and over and over, and we need to listen to something over and over and over. And every time we listen, we get something different from it. And so the last year and a half, when I decided to really dive into what it means to manifest anything in life, it was a struggle to really understand it, because I was told all the time, oh, you have to trust. Just trust and it will come, right? Or the energetics. And I'm like, what does this mean? I'm a magnet. And I would try and convince myself I was a magnet. I was not being a magnet. And so I ended up having a few weeks ago, a month ago, this realization, and it was inside a Make Life Your Bitch call, the mastermind call. And I was talking to my clients, and all of a sudden this channeled through me, this concept. And I was just sharing, and usually I'll have some notes just to make sure I cover everything that the ladies, what I was going to share with the ladies. And this just came through in such a different way, to the point that I couldn't even remember which episode it was on, because it was nowhere in my notes, about this realization about how abundance and manifestation really explained, so that you understand when you are trusting, when you are using the energetics, you understand why they work. I'm one of those people who I don't want to say I dumb things down for my clients, but I like to put it into human terms so everyone understands it, versus sometimes someone trying to read between the lines. And I would rather you get to the accomplish things quicker than waiting to actually figure things out, and you're trying to navigate it on your own. Someone told you to be a magnet, to trust, to have this mindset, blah, 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 and hold it all. You need to hold it all. I remember that. But still not really knowing how it was going to come. Right? And so the first time I heard about manifestation and I heard about abundance, I was 14 years old, and I had read the book, The Secret. And I remember reading it and learning about the laws of attraction. And I was hooked. It's been the driving force my entire life to understand this concept and to draw it in. And to me, it's this lifelong journey that I get to be on and that I've been on. And every time I decide to learn more about it, I get more information. But when I was learning about it, there was a disconnect because I heard what they were saying, but I didn't understand how I could do it too. Like, I was one of those people, I was a how person. How does it work? But why does it work? And when you're telling me to trust and to feel the energetics, I've taught my clients how to feel their own energy fields, but yet I still didn't understand how point A got to point B, right? And, I'd beat myself up if I had a negative thought. Oh, see, it's not coming. Now I have to start over. And so when we talk, like, that was the first time that I really tapped into the laws of attraction, was the book, The Secret. And I have that book highlighted. I have it dog-eared. I've read all the Secret books. I've watched the video multiple times. The movie, I think it's still on Netflix. But every time I watched it or read it, I got a little bit more, but there was still something missing until a few weeks ago. And so, like I said, it always intrigued me. And from the age of 14, I've started learning about energy, gratitude, and I've done all the things. I've had so many people who are highly successful share their routines, and it's very interesting when people share their routines because they know what works for them. And so what ends up happening, from my experience, is that we hire a coach because they're successful, right? Whatever it's in. They're successful in healing, successful in money, they're successful in business. And they have these structures of these routines that they do, and they share with you. This is my routine. This is what you should do. But nobody really tells you why. Like, I remember having a coach this spring who said, try it for 30 days. And that was great, but it didn't align with me. One of the things they said was there's actually an app, and it's the Secret app. And it's actually funny because when I was 14 years old, I remember reading the book and thinking to myself, they should have, something that you can go to online where it's like you're purchasing the product. And so you've already put it out into the universe that you're going to purchase it. But then like you can set it and forget it, and then the universe will bring it to you. So that way those people who can't trust blindly, like, they would have this application or, this thing online where they could actually buy it. And so now they've developed an app, and I never shared that with anyone, but now they've developed an app where every day you get money, and you get more and more. Every time you get money, you have to spend it all. And then once you spend it all, it'll give you more money. And so, of course, there's the investments piece. Oh, well, you can put it into investments and all this kind of stuff. But I'm a time person. Like, I have time to dream. I don't have time to sit online and shop for something and put the price in. And that was too much for me. I did not like doing that. I didn't like doing it every day. I tried it. I didn't like it. And I've tried the gratitude lists, and they felt like a task because I didn't understand gratitude. I thought I did. I thought I understood gratitude. And we're going to be talking about creating experiences on another episode. And so really keep your eyes peeled for that, because it's going to be talking about gratitude, experiences, and really understanding, like I said, really understanding how gratitude feels, how it all works, and without, just making a gratitude list. So any hoodles, like I said, I did the gratitude list. I focus on the positive, but something still didn't feel right. I could be that person who would be like, look out my window and I have to write down 10 things that I'm grateful for. And I wouldn't really feel into it. I'd be like, I like the green grass. I am grateful for my partner. I am grateful for my daughter. I am grateful for my dogs. But I never felt it. And I know even in the times that it's like, feel it, there was still something missing. So like I said, we're going to talk about that on a different episode. But last year, don't tell my boyfriend, but I invested. It was funny because the other day he said to me, I know last year that you invested thousands of dollars into your coaching. And I'm thinking to myself, I invested tens of thousands of dollars. But I did. I invested tens of thousands of dollars into, trying to understand manifestation and abundance. But like I said, when I was told to trust and someone told me about energy, I struggled. Even with my own clients, we went out and set goals. It wasn't just, you say to yourself, hey, like this would feel so good. It would feel so good to do this one day and, create something within 30 days. And one of my coaches, that's what she would talk about. It doesn't need to be the month. It doesn't need to be October in this month because it creates pressure. But within a 30-day period, this is what I'm working towards. I want to hit, $20K, $100K, $1 million months if you're in business, right? And I always had to figure out how was I going to do that? And so I would sit there and I would say, well, I want to have this many clients. That would feel good. And I want to make this much money. And then all of a sudden the calculator would come out, and I would be like, okay, if I want to make this many, I need this many people in my program and I need to charge them this much. And, da-da. And it created pressure. And so with my clients, when we set these goals, some of them absolutely loved it. They're driven off of the setting goals and they were hitting them. While others needed the energetics. They're like, this creates too much pressure for me. It stresses me out. And so a year and a half ago, when I was talking about those things, I was sharing what was working for me because it was, but I wasn't tapping into that. It didn't work for everyone, right? And so as I got these other coaches over the last year and they've shared their routines, everyone did something different, but there were things that they did that I was not aligned with at all. And so that's when I started to think of, I need to understand why that works for them. Why does it work for them? What energy does that bring in for them? And how can I make it my own? And so that is something that we talk about inside the luxury program that's coming up. It starts October 10th. And the other one, and actually, if I'm releasing this episode October 10th today, so if you want to jump into that, but I'll also talk about it in the abundance codes that is in November and really help you understand deeper into the abundance and the manifestation piece around that and creating your own routine. But, I was willing to try it all. I don't know if you're like me, but when it came to manifestation and abundance, I know what I wanted in life. I know the kind of vehicle that I want. I know the home that I want. And I didn't need help figuring out what I wanted. I needed to know how am I going to get it. And so, like I said, I was willing to try anything. I was willing to learn anything. I was willing to take whatever courses and connect with whatever people I could in order to get myself there. But there was always something missing. And so, like I said, I've tried manifestation apps. I've tried meditation. I've tried the gratitude lists. I've tried reading books. I've tried course after course after course. Like I said, I tried the money app and pretending to purchase items. And the only thing I was told over and over was to let go of control. Let go of control and trust. Trust, right? Trust what? Trust the universe. Does the universe care about me? No. And I always trusted that the universe cared, but I don't know about you, but I can be a little bit of a control freak. So handing it over and then fear of, I want to make this much money. I've put it onto the universe. I've told people about it. How am I going to bring it in? Because I was so stubborn that I wanted to run a successful business, so it had to come from my business. I refused to trust that it could just come to me. Scarlett, she needs an operation done, or it's like a day surgery or whatnot with the dentist because she has a lip and a tongue tie. And our health insurance could have done it if the doctor did it, but he's a million years old and it was going to do it an old school way. But the dentist would do it, but that meant we had to pay for it. And it's over $700, which, I mean, when you're wanting something done for your kid, you're willing to invest in anything. But if you're looking at free to $700, for some people it's like, whew. And so we actually submitted it through insurance. And usually with dental stuff, they only cover 55%. And they end up covering 90%. And it was this moment within me that I was like, wow, I manifested that. I know that my energy of trusting manifested that. And there's going to be so many things that when we open our eyes, we have manifested. But, there's still that piece of you, if you're a business owner, that you want to not necessarily manifest objects. You want to manifest more money from clients to have a successful business so you can tell everyone, I have a successful business, you feel good about yourself, and maybe you don't align with this. But for me, I wanted myself to feel successful in my business. And so I was trying to control the way that I brought abundance into my life. And so, like I said, I had to let go of control over and over and over again. But I was like, what the fuck does that mean, to let go of control? What I was able to do was create. I said, I'm a why person. Tell me why it works so I can make it my own. The other day, like I said, in the Make Life Your Bitch Mastermind, when we started talking about what we were doing was we were talking about feminine and masculine energy and how it relates to wealth. And so if we were to begin by touching on the difference between feminine and masculine energy, for those of you who don't know, we all hold both energies. We all hold both feminine energy and masculine energy. And so feminine energy is on the left side of your body. It doesn't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed. It's on the left side of your body. And it's focused on receiving. And the interesting thing about feminine energy is we often think when we're moms, when we're mothers, that because we are a mom, and growing up, I'm sure you've heard at least someone say this, is I give everything to my kids and my partner, and I'm doing all the things, and I'll worry about me when they're grown up, they're off to school, they've gone and they're living on their own, and these women, these moms, are so burnt out and they're giving everything to everyone else and they're depleted. Because it's a mom, we all of a sudden think that she's in her feminine because she's so nurturing. No, that is masculine energy. That is giving. So feminine is receiving. All right. Masculine is on your right side of your body. And like I said, it's focused on giving. So how does this relate to manifestation? The feminine and the masculine energy. So what I want to do, and this is what came through for me, was this analogy of a boomerang. So I want you to think of how many times you boomerang energy. You receive and you immediately send it back out. You give. And so women, although are often considered, like I said, feminine, often don't allow the energy in, and actually they don't allow it in. What they do is someone gives them a compliment, they allow it in, and they immediately boomerang it out back to someone else. And so if you were to look in a mirror, saying affirmations, burning your candles, taking baths, do you actually embody your feminine receiving when you do those things? Or are you taking action? Are you giving? When you look in the mirror and you're saying affirmations, this is one of the things that we used to do in the Make Life Your Bitch Mastermind, in the Independent Boss Babe Academy. I would have the ladies stand up at the end of every call. I'd set a timer for 2 minutes, and I would tell them to do I am statements for 2 minutes. And one of the things that I noticed that they all did was they didn't look themselves in the eyes. They looked up. They thought. They thought with their head, their thoughts, instead of their heart. They didn't look at themselves in the camera, online, and actually look at the different aspects of themselves and say, it's like they would look up and they'd be like, I'm beautiful, I am successful, I am wealthy. Instead of looking at themselves in the eyes and saying, like, I am on my way to being the most wealthy woman I have ever dreamed of. I am beautiful. I have such beautiful lips. And actually looking at themselves and feeling the energy, they would just say it for the sake of doing the task. We're women, the mothers. It's like, let's get the task, let's get it done, move on to the next thing. I feel better after this. I do feel better, but nah, right? And it's because we're so much in our masculine. So we really need to learn how to embody feminine energy. So with this boomerang analogy, when you receive a compliment, I want you to think about, how do you respond? Are you a boomerang with compliments? Do you allow yourself to appreciate it and say thank you? Do you actually fill your cup? When someone says to you, wow, that is such a beautiful shirt. Wow, you have such beautiful eyes. Do you let it absorb in, say thank you, and allow yourself to feel it? Or do you say thank you? I got it. Oh, this shirt? Oh, I got it at, such and such place for, it was normal $100 and I got it for $50. It's 50% off. I'm pretty sure they still have some if you want it. Or, oh, thanks. Sorry, I've had this forever and I just pulled it out of my closet. Thanks. Or if someone compliments, you on a physical feature, especially a man, it's like, ugh, is he trying to pick me up? Is he hitting on me? What is this? Instead of just saying thank you and taking a moment to just appreciate the compliment. You don't need to take it further. It's not, oh, well, in order to appreciate it, I need to start a conversation with this person and all this kind of stuff. Like, no, you don't have to make yourself uncomfortable, but you can say thank you, move along, and just, think to yourself, like, I do have nice eyes. I am beautiful. Thank you. And give it a little pep in your step. But what we do, so many of us, is we treat it like a boomerang. And so when we actually allow these things in and we appreciate it, what happens is we start to fill our cup. And as we fill our cup with appreciation that we are receiving in, that is when we can give from the overflow. But if we boomerang it back out, it's like you're dropping a little bit of water or a little bit of coffee in your cup and you drink it. You drop a little coffee in your cup, you receive it, and then you drink it. Or you drop a little coffee in your cup and then you give it to someone else and you say, oh, here you go. Someone gives you a cup of coffee. Oh, here you go. You can have it. And you're at this like rock bottom. And so you're wondering why more isn't pouring into your life. It's because you're giving it away before you've even received it, before you've actually taken a moment to really feel it. And that's the thing, is you're giving it away and you haven't even allowed yourself to feel it for a moment. You haven't allowed it in. And so with affirmations, candles, baths, we must be an energetic match, a match for receiving when we are doing those things. When you get into the bath, if you are someone on Sundays, I take baths, I do Financial Sunday. And part of it is I go in, I do a meditation. And when I go in there, it's not about what do I need to do? It's not about, how do I manifest or what do I want? It's just allowing myself to receive the energy in that moment. It doesn't just need to be about dreaming big. I usually, sometimes I do a meditation on the dreams of what life, the desires I want, but it's appreciating every little thing, stepping my toe into the bubble bath, feeling the warmth as I slide in, feeling the candles, taking a moment, closing my eyes, smelling the candles. Sometimes I play music. If I'm listening to a meditation, just feeling it in my whole body and really receiving, not just this is a task I check off my list because so-and-so said they do this and then this means I will be successful. It's, do you allow yourself to feel receiving? When you when someone gives something to you, someone else is giving you something, the universe is giving you something. There's energetics that you can receive. There's the energy you can receive so that it grows, right? If we want our aura, our magnetic field to grow, we need to allow it in. Don't allow it in and throw it back out there. And so do you allow yourself to feel abundant, or do you instantly, like if we were to talk about money, you have a job, you're in your business, whatever it is, and you know your Stripe payment is coming in 2 days, 5 days, whatever it is. You know there's a PayPal that can be put into your account right now. Or you know that someone, they're going to be buying something from you. Or if you have a job right now, you know this Wednesday, this Friday, you're going to get this much money and it's going to come into your account. And before any of this money has hit your account, are you the person who is already thinking about all the things that you could purchase? Well, I need to pay the bills. And so this is how much it's going to cost. You know what? There's this sweater that I really want. So I'm going to go purchase that. And I'm going to fill up my car. Gas is expensive right now. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go get groceries. And I'm going to spoil myself with a Starbucks coffee. And before the money has even hit your account, it's gone. You've spent it all. In your mind, you've already spent it. So all of a sudden you receive it on Friday, and by Monday, you're wondering, you have this heavy feeling in your chest again, this heavy feeling on your shoulders of, oh God, okay, 2 weeks, I'll make money in 2 weeks, and then I'll be able to pay for that. How did I get to this place? And all of a sudden you're asking yourself, how did I get here again? And so what we need to be able to do is allow the money to hit your account before you're spending it in your mind. Allow yourself to receive this money, to look at the number in your bank account and to say to yourself like, oh, that feels so good. I am so grateful. With this money, I could spend it here, spend it there. But what would feel so good right now? The joy that I would feel. Because what I find is a lot of people, when they aren't happy in their lives, they end up treating everything like a boomerang. And in order to feel good about ourselves, we go and buy something. We go and buy material objects to feel good about ourselves, when really we aren't allowing and receiving the energy in to our bodies. I remember when my ex and I split in 2018, I went and I bought 2 $900 jackets, Canada Goose jackets. I'm from Canada, and they're these warm jackets. And I went and bought 2 of them. And I remember in that moment, it felt so good. I felt like I was enough. I felt like I gifted myself. I deserved it. And I received for a moment. And it was a material object, and I purchased it. And now what? The gratification and the receiving lasted for a hot minute, and I felt empty inside still. I still felt empty that we had broken up, that he had left me for another woman. The material object didn't make me feel better. I did not feel better, maybe for a moment, but my cup was still empty. I was looking for something outside of myself to actually allow myself to receive the good and to feel all of it. And so when it comes to money, and we want to create more of it, we want it to come in, and we want it to be overflowing, but we don't actually see it in our account and feel good. And I know with the book, The Secret, I remember learning at a young age, when you get your bill in the mail, receive it and say thank you. Be grateful for the bill that you got in the mail, because if your power bill came in the mail, well, thank you so much. I am so grateful for my lights being on. And yes, that feels good. I still write on my bills, thanks for the services. like, that's been ingrained in me. Thanks for the services, I write on it, little happy face when I pay them. But truthfully, I don't feel it. It's a task. It's something that I've just been accustomed to do now. Like, I just write thanks for the services. That means it's paid. It goes in the drawer. And that's it. But I don't feel it. Like, I don't look around and be like, yeah, these lights. Thank goodness for these lights. Thank goodness for the power so that I can, turn on my computer. Thank goodness for the internet that I have so I can run my business, right? I don't do that, or I haven't been doing that. And all of a sudden, when I started understanding the boomerang effect, it started to make more sense as to why it works, how I can create this feeling and this abundance inside of me in order to fill my cup. And one of the questions I always like to ask myself is, what would bring me joy right now? And if it doesn't bring me joy, I don't do it. And when I can ask myself that question, what would bring me joy? I move from a place of joy and I allow myself to receive over and over and over. And so, how do you feel about abundance? Like I said, do you instantly plan how to spend your money? Because the universe is not going to give you more if you don't allow yourself to feel abundant now. The universe is going to say, this is what you always do. You spend it before you even have it, and it's working. It's working for you. You haven't identified that. You haven't even appreciated what I've given you. You say thank you for a moment, but do you actually feel it? If you were talking to a friend and they gave you a gift and you said, oh, thanks. Thank you. How would you feel if, you gave someone a gift and they were just like, oh, thanks. And they put it to the side. Did they actually receive it? Were they grateful? That would be the question that would go through my mind. I'd be like, was this person actually grateful for it? I don't know if I want to give this person another gift. They weren't grateful, so I'm going to give someone else the gift from now on. Because, it feels really good. It feels really good when I give someone a gift and they're like, wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. I am so grateful for this. And all of a sudden, I gave, but now I have this opportunity to receive, the way that the appreciation they feel. And I remember there was this point where I used to give gifts all the time, and someone told me I was selfish because they said I was doing it because I wanted to receive the energy. And it's like, no. I love to give gifts. I love to surprise people and create experiences for people. And yes, it makes me feel so good when I get to see them light up. I do receive on that. But when someone told me I was selfish, I stopped doing it. I was like, okay, well, if I'm selfish because it brings me joy to give you a gift, and how dare I feel joy for giving someone something, I stopped doing it. And the little pieces inside me broke, and I started to lose myself. So where else in your life can you feel the energy of abundance? Where else in your life could you allow, yourself to receive and feel abundance, not just financially, but if someone was to give you a gift, do you actually receive it? If someone was to compliment you, do you actually receive it? And in 2018, that was something I worked so hard on, was when someone complimented me, I said, thank you. And then I shut my mouth. I was quiet. And it was so hard because I've always been that person that when someone says, oh, I really like your shoes. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I love your earrings. Or they say, wow, your hair looks so good today. And I look at them and I'm like, oh my goodness, yours too. Thank you so much. But you are the real MVP here. You look fabulous, right? Did I actually receive it? Did I feel it? And so the other thing is, you can, if you're throwing a compliment like confetti, at the end of this episode, we always say, if you want to throw compliments like confetti. And so I started to do that. I started to throw these compliments like confetti in 2018. And when people would receive it and thank me, I was able to receive their gratitude for what for me giving to them. And to me, that is a way different feeling than the boomerang. When we actually can say thank you and just receive it. When we can give to someone and they say thank you and you experience the gratitude and we receive it. Versus someone saying thank you and you just throw it back out there and you don't actually allow it to absorb into your whole being. So on the other side, like I said, we have our masculine energy of giving. And so where do you think in your life you are over giving? Or where are you under giving? And the boomerang of giving without feeling is, like I said, a struggle as well. We need to give from the overflow. So we receive in, when someone says, wow, you are so beautiful. When a client purchases, when you receive money, you feel it in your whole being. You feel that cup filling. You feel the cup filling. And then when you feel so good inside, you give from the overflow. You allow yourself to really feel all of it inside of you. And then we give from the overflow. And filling the cup doesn't need to take long. You can still receive one compliment, give one compliment. It's not like, okay, I have to receive 10 compliments in order to give one because Brittany said I have to fill my cup. So there's like drip, 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 10 drips. Then I can give one drip because then I'm in overflow and abundance and I can't empty the cup. No. When you feel it in your whole being, it fills the cup. It's a totally different feeling than just someone gives me a compliment, little drip, not a pour in, like, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. That feels so good. I so appreciate that. And one of the things when it comes to content and the connection, right? If we were to bring this back to business and selling, when someone compliments you on a post or they say thank you or they say congratulations, do you actually receive the congratulations or do you just love it? Thanks. Thank you. Or do you actually take the time to respond back? Genuinely respond back to what they've said to you. This person has gone out of their way to say congratulations to you. Even if it only took them 10 seconds. They gave you a compliment. And you take 10 seconds back to quickly say thanks. Move on to the next one. You don't even know really who said it. You don't look at, oh, Brittany sent me a congratulations. Oh, Brittany's so nice. She cares about me. I so appreciate her saying congratulations. Oh, I just feel that. Look at all these people who are congratulating me. That feels so good. Versus, 70 people commented. They said congratulations to me. I'm going to receive that. I'm going to receive the number of people that said, there's 70. Oh, okay, that feels good. And I'm going to tell them all thanks. I'm not going to feel it though. I'm just going to, oh, thank you. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Oh, okay, there we go. On to the next post. On to the next task. I said this on the last episode. Receiving more. Doing less, right? Not having to post 12 posts a day. Not having to put out an offer 12 times a day. Because, and then nothing happening. Energetically, it's because you are empty. You've just taken so much time and so much energy and you are burnt out to give and to hope that you can receive without just making one thing really powerful. Showing up and redefining what it means to be an influencer within yourself. And when you understand this energy exchange, you will really understand the reason why the strategies of others worked. Well, if you take a moment to really tap in and understand this, replay this episode, take notes, feel it in your body, understand like, oof, that's where I've been doing it wrong. I don't allow it myself to actually receive. And if you actually allow yourself to listen to this and understand it and how it works, then you will be able to actually understand why other people's, all of a sudden your eyes are going to open, that when someone shares their routine, someone that you know is wildly successful, and you hear about what their routine is, and you can understand the receiving piece. Oh, okay, that's why it works, because they're receiving here. And, with a morning routine, with a gratitude list. Oh, I'm not just giving gratitude. I'm not saying, oh, thank you so much for the grass, the green grass. Oh yeah, I'm grateful for that. And I'm giving gratitude. We're receiving. We're receiving and feeling in our body grateful. Thank you so much. Oh, you know what? Green grass. I love in the summertime going outside and a freshly cut lawn, and the smell of a fresh cut lawn feels so good. I feel so much so grateful when I get to smell that. I feel so good when I go for a summer walk at nighttime with that warm breeze. There's this one, we always go the same route when it's nighttime versus daytime when we go for our walk. And I love the summer evening walks, because I just feel it. I close my eyes and I can just feel it in my body, that warm breeze. I love the lights, the street lights. I love being able to look up at the moon. I live in Canada. When I see the northern lights, oh, that just feels so good. Oh, I'm so grateful for that. Or when I go for a walk, around supper time, and I can smell a barbecue, and it just reminds me of summer. Can you guys tell that I really like summer? I don't like the winter. Even though I'm in Canada and it's winter 10 months out of the year, it feels like. I love the warmth. I like being warm. As soon as it gets cold out, I hide inside. There's a reason I want to move to Mexico. But there's a different kind of gratitude in that versus I am so grateful for the green grass. I feel it. I am so grateful for my boyfriend. He's a good person. And I've had people say, oh, you need to be specific. Okay, well, I'll journal and I'll write. Okay, well, I am so grateful when he does not leave the cups on the counter and he actually puts them in the dishwasher. That is great. I am so grateful for when he does that. But yet, how do you feel when you see it on the counter? And then you lose your shit, right? And so start thinking about, those things in your life that just bring you so much gratitude, and allow yourself to really feel it. And so when we think about other people's routines and they tell you the gratitude list, or they tell you to meditate and they say, hey, meditate for 10 minutes and just allow yourself to listen. And you're trying to receive, but you're receiving only for the sake of you're receiving for the sake of only being able to go out and give immediately. That's not what it's about. Really allow yourself to feel it in your entire being and beyond that, right? Allow that energetic field to open up. When I think back to books and courses I've taken, I better understand the trust now after understanding this, because the gratitude is not about a list, but about the feeling, the abundance, about the appreciation. And like I said, I fill my own cup before I give it away. I cannot give everything away and be scraping the barrel of these cups. And so I didn't understand my success last year. When I hit 6 figures last year, I actually did not understand why. I thought I did. I thought it was the logistics, but it was my energy, because I focused on feeling joy last year. In 2021, I focused on joy, and I loved myself. I allowed myself to love myself. When I would get a client, oh, it felt so good. And I never questioned it. Has anyone here, and I've been guilty of this, where, in the past, when I first started my business, I've shared this before, where I would get on a sales call, and before I even got on the sales call, there was so much fear. Oh, what if they don't buy? What if they don't buy? And I'd get to the end of the sales call, and there was no energetic relationship built. And when they said no, I was like, see, told you so. And I heard one of my coaches say in the last couple of days, she was actually talking about manifestation, and she was talking about fear when it comes to receiving. And if you get on a sales call, or if you put an offer out there and you tell yourself, I don't care. I don't care. It's fine if no one purchases. Or, I don't care if I'm disappointed. It's okay. And you try and sugarcoat it for yourself. Or say you were to believe it. Oh, yes, I put this offer out here. I just want all these people to purchase, and I'm just excited. This person asked me for the link. Oh, that feels so good. And then if they don't purchase, you're just like, you feel that yucky feeling of like, oh, that sucks. If there's the potential there that you still couldn't get it, the feeling's going to be the same. Whether you say, oh, see, I told you. Or the disappointment of, oh, they didn't end up purchasing. It's still going to be there either way. So you might as well receive the joy, the happiness, the excitement. With the interview or the podcast and the interviews right now, the applications, I put it out a couple days ago, and we have almost 40 people have applied. And I just receive all of it. I'm like, oh, that feels so good. Like, all these women want to make like their bitch. They want to be on the podcast. They want to share their stories with the world. They want to connect, right? And I receive it all. And it's not just about me giving them or like receiving that, oh yes, they get to be on my podcast, but it's this opportunity that I am so grateful for each woman who is willing to share their story, because my dream is to change the world by sharing messages, by sharing our stories. And I truly believe by sharing our stories, even if someone doesn't purchase from me, it creates this ripple effect in the world, that someone might share my story and help someone else. Someone might share the story of someone on the podcast and it might help someone else, and it creates this ripple effect in the world. And that's my big, big dream for my business, and the difference I want to make in the world. The legacy I want to leave behind is to be able to create this ripple effect for women to feel inspired and empowered and see that it's possible for them to go after their dreams. And I receive every person's application. I just feel it in my being that this means that it's possible. Look at how many ripple effects are going to be created by doing all these interviews, by all of these women getting to share their stories. Oh, wow. That feels so good. It feels so good in my body. But if my thought was, oh, I'm the one who's giving. I'm giving them a platform to share their story, and they should be grateful. Or if there's that side of things. Or there's the other side of things where it's like, oh, I'm so grateful for this person's on there. They are helping me out so much. They're helping me out so much because it's helping me grow my podcast, and they come on and I'm grateful, but I'm not actually feeling the impact that I want to create. The whole reason why I do this, there's a different energetic feeling. So we want to be able to become an energetic match for what we desire. And in order to be able to do that, we need to fill the cup. And how we fill the cup is feel everything into our being and truly receive it. Truly, truly receive it. And use like the 5 senses and think to yourself, like, if it's a cup of coffee in the morning, like smelling it and being able to, with the espresso machine I have, like listening to it, feeling the drops pour in, looking at it and seeing, the color. I love the color when the espresso comes down. It just brings me so much joy. And the coffee cup, oh, it's so warm. Especially as it's getting colder here in Canada, it's so warm. And I get to go outside if I want and see the leaves changing and be able to smell the autumn air. And all of a sudden, this is a different type of receiving. So what happened last year, if we were to bring this back to my business and the receiving and not really understanding why I was successful, my energy actually crumbled and my business plateaued last year. And so I was hitting 10K months and a bit more 10K months, but it was this plateau. It wasn't growing. And what ended up happening was I began caring for a loved one in April in the hospital. And through that, I lost myself. I wouldn't change any of that for the world, but I stopped receiving when I was caring for this person. I got into mother mode, I got into nurturing mode, and I just gave. And so I didn't allow any sort of energy of receiving. When she said thank you, it was just like, oh, no problem. Of course I would do this. Like, of course. It's no problem at all. But I didn't actually receive that that person was grateful. You know, I didn't receive the energy of the gratitude for myself when it came to, I'm so grateful that this person is in my life. I'm so grateful that they're alive. I'm so grateful that they're okay. That when I hug them, there's a warmth there. That this person is in my life. I am just so grateful. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God, whatever you believe, that they survived. And I get to be here. And I get to be a part of their life and a part of their journey. And when we receive it that way versus, well, of course I'm going to be here to help them. And give. All of a sudden the cup is empty. And we don't know why our business has plateaued. We don't know why we're not making more money. We don't know why we feel so shitty. And then we think that, see, I shouldn't have helped that person. That's my fault. I gave too much. No, you just didn't receive anything. You didn't allow yourself to receive the energetics of how powerful your giving and the impact that your giving made in someone else's life, on the world. And it's okay to feel really good about the way you give. So last year I really did lose myself. I thought I needed to be fixed. I thought that I was broken, but I wasn't. When I talked about it on Redefining Influencer in July, I thought I was broken. And when I put out daily offers and money programs and strategy and nothing was clicking, I felt so empty inside. I felt like a failure. And I always created through action. You know, I took action. I gave. I was in my masculine. Instead of working from inspiration, working from a place of like, oh, I want to make a difference in these women's lives. And it's going to feel so good what I'm going to be able to create for them, because this is something I've done for myself. And I want to create this experience and I want to feel inspired. It's a totally different feeling. So this year in 2022, I made a decision. And I decided that I'm going to feel inspired again. As I've said many times, I tore apart my business and I really have come full circle, because the programs that I share with you guys today are things that I've embodied. The power of story, and how when we share stories, people want to purchase from you. People want to purchase from you because they feel, wow, she gets me, and I want to go deeper with her. I want to go deeper and really understand and do life with this person so I can tap into even more of what they have to share. You know, if you're someone who's like I'm just scratching the surface when it comes to abundance and manifestation and how it's changed my life. But you know, you can take this podcast episode today and you can listen to it over and over. You can use it in everything else you've been taught. And you're going to walk away and it's going to be amazing. Or you can choose, hey, I want to do life with this person. I want to be able to not only understand abundance in this way, but I want to be able to have the conversations and have someone that when I do give too much, that I can go back and say, wow, how did I get here? And have a discussion and a pep talk sometimes to allow you to receive, to allow me to be able to help you receive again. Or maybe share even more about abundance and manifestation to you. This is, like I said, just scratching the surface. But it was something that I needed so bad in order to even get started. Because I thought I was started with understanding and learning all about the energetics, but none of it actually made sense until I understood this whole boomerang idea. Oh, I can't just receive it in, and before I even feel it, give it back, right? So this is why my focus in life is making it your bitch, because I truly believe that it all matters. Your story matters. And so I want you to live a dream life now. Appreciate the now. Feel abundance now. Take a minute to receive. Take an hour. Take a day. Take a year to receive. And when you're having your me time, feel the abundance of the time that you are spending with yourself and that you are receiving. And then ask for more. Release yourself from the fear of receiving. As women, we struggle with receiving so much because then we're selfish. How dare we put a price out there? Because, I can't ask people to pay that amount. And then you're scared to actually put your services out there. So then you give everything away for free, or you give everything away like this massive value for like nothing at all. Whereas part of the process is it's you receiving. And the other person, if they understand abundance and manifestation, they want to give to you because they understand the energetic exchange, but you're over here in fear. You don't want to ask for too much. You don't want to receive too much because then you're selfish and you don't actually feel the gratitude long enough when it comes in. It's this energetic exchange between all of us. I receive from healing programs. I receive when someone, gives, when I purchase and I give someone my money and I take their program and I'm receiving in all the energy and everything they're sharing. And I share my gratitude with them. Like, thank you. This has changed my life. All of a sudden they're like, oh, that feels so good. Thank you. Thank you. That has helped. Like, it makes me feel so good to hear that my work is making a difference in someone's life. Thank you for the money. The money means that, I can share it with someone else by doing their program. It means that I can create experiences for my family and also give to them, or just having it, receiving it, and knowing that I can change someone's life feels so good, and that I get to fulfill my dreams of making an impact. Don't be afraid to charge for your services. Don't be afraid to receive. Acknowledge where you've been afraid. Okay, so this is what I want you guys to do is release yourself of the fear of receiving and really acknowledge where you have been afraid of receiving more, and really let go of the how. You can give first in your business simply through connection. Don't empty your cup. Connect with people. And create everything you create from joy. Fall in love with your business again. And the work that you do. Fall back in love with it and feel gratitude for the knowledge you've received, for the way that you can embody what you share with the world today, because this entire journey that you've been on up until today, receive it. The good, the bad, the ugly, the lessons. Receive it all because it's made you the woman that you are, and it makes your story so powerful. It makes the story that you're going to share with people so much more powerful. And you're sharing with them your experience, and they receive it in their body of, wow, she gets me. And then they want to purchase from you. And it's this like energetic exchange. It's a cycle of sharing versus a boomerang where you're just throwing it and you're throwing it out to the world and you're receiving it back, and it's taking a minute, and there's nothing being built there. You're not building anything. You're not building an empire. You're not building a legacy. You're not creating anything by just throwing it out and it comes back, throwing it out and it comes back, but you're still at the same plateau. So I want you to appreciate the journey. Take a look at your story, see where you haven't appreciated enough, where you haven't received enough. Go back and look at your story, your life up until today, and identify like, wow, this is amazing. Life has truly been amazing. So on the next episode, we're going to talk about experiences, and we're going to go deeper onto how to receive. And I really wanted you to understand explain it, because I needed it. And when I started sharing this with friends after I understood, they're like, wow, that makes so much sense. And I couldn't keep it to myself. So I trust that this was valuable for you. It's going to tell you at the end of the episode to throw compliments like confetti. But if this message was received, share it with us. Share it how it's made a difference for you. Make sure you go to Instagram. Follow us there. You can follow my personal Instagram, Facebook, Brittany Alicia. There's the Make Life Your Bitch podcast as well on Instagram. And that's all for this one. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Make Life Your Bitch podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please share it with your bestie. And if you haven't already, subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast player. If you have any questions, feedback, or compliments that you want to throw like confetti, you can reach me directly at podcast@makelifeyourbitch.co. Thanks for listening.